Hello friends, welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today we have a very gentle yin restorative sort of class, so please hop into anything comfy. We don't move around too much. We only flow through about a dozen poses and we hold them for a few breaths. We just really work on releasing physical tension by holding the poses a little bit longer, and releasing mental tension by sitting in these poses, allowing time for surrender, allowing time for our mind to wander and kind of take us, just allowing time for checking in, seeing how we're doing, checking in with how we're doing things so far. So whenever you're ready to give yourself this extra time, this extra little TLC, you can grab your mat and we can get started. We start today in Child's Pose, gently sinking the hips back, taking our time to arrive on the mat today. Whether we're taking this class because we're low on energy, we need something a little light, a little more soothing, or maybe we need a little more support in our day. I want you to find that support, that loving, soothing energy inside of you. Maybe we rock here a little bit, self-soothe, depending on how you're feeling today. Start to check in. Starting to notice the breath, grounding through the palms, rooted to the mat. Melting the heart down, opening up through the heart center. Maybe reaching out the fingertips a little bit more. Taking 2 more nice deep breaths here. Allowing a full release. Just melting into the mat. And then gently raising the chest, coming onto all fours, finding our tabletop pose, spreading through the fingers really wide here. Grounding through the tops of the feet, finding our stable position before coming into cat-cow. Moving really, really slow. Big inhale. And exhale, round. Breathing slowly, feeling all of the sensations that come with the transitioning movements. Really taking this time for yourself, tapping in. Not thinking about anything else we have to do or anything that happened earlier. Just right here and right now. Keep moving with the breath, finding joy in the movement. One more round. Making it nice and deep. Before meeting back in tabletop pose, where we're gonna walk the fingertips out and lean the chest down, coming into puppy. We want to keep the hips stacked over the knees. And reaching the fingertips out. Maybe the chin rests on the mat. With every exhale, getting slightly closer to the mat, melting Releasing a little bit more. Maybe finding something you want to consciously release. Inhale, thinking of that thought. And exhale, send it away. Clear it from your brain. Releasing what we no longer need. One more breath. And then gently sliding into Sphinx pose, coming onto the forearms. And inhale, lifting the chest. Saying hello to the lower back, waking him up. Lifting our gaze, maybe rolling out the neck here if that feels good, tucking the chin. Sending it back, moving side to side. Finding little movements here to increase our stretch, deepen our practice. Still just feeling our bodies, the sensations. One more deep breath here. And then exhale, we're going to come into Crocodile Pose, taking one forearm, putting the other on top, making a little pillow for your head. And then placing your forehead down onto the forearms. Pressing the forehead into the forearms, really rolling the shoulders down, trying to press the shoulders into the mat. Creating a nice long extension through the spine. This is really good. We slept funky last night, really good, helping relieve neck tension. Just getting this full extension. Breathing nice and deep. Letting thoughts go, come and go as they please, sending them on their way. One more round of breath here before gently raising up the head, the chest, and walking the fingertips to either side. So one of our arms is crossed over the other, and then we can slowly lower maybe the chin onto the arms, or we can find a little rest here, wherever feels good. Just getting a little shoulder stretch. And then releasing, letting everything go. No tension in the legs, no tension in the belly, no tension in the fingers. Gently releasing, lifting the chest back up, switching arms. The opposite now comes underneath. Making sure we even out both sides, finding your variation of this pose. Enjoying these precious moments to yourself. This time. Gently lifting the head and the chest, unraveling the arms, taking the left forearm in front, resting on that forearm, taking the right leg, bending the knee, coming into this half frog pose. So we want the toes pointing towards the side, and we want to try and get our knee in line with the hip here. So our foot is flexed. We're sending both of the hips down into the mat. So thinking of dropping the pelvis down, kind of sending the little booty up, dropping the pelvis down, squeezing through the glutes, sending it down into the mat, using the elbows to press away. This is a little bit more of an active stretch, but great for the hips, great for releasing. Letting go what is no longer serving you. Any limiting beliefs, any stagnant relationships, any self-doubt, let it all go. Remembering to breathe, sending your energy and your awareness to the hips, the groin area, energetically sending the hips down through the mat. We can gently and lovingly send that leg back behind and coming into half frog on the left. If we need to use our hands to help guide us into this position, we can do so. And then sending the pelvis down, feeling that beautiful opening in the groin, in the hip flexor. A lot of people hate frog pose, but sometimes we gotta do it. We gotta do the things we don't like sometimes. Especially to release. Sometimes you gotta go through the stickiness first, the uncomfortable parts. Well, most of the time, I don't think you really can release or grow without going through some uncomfortable bits. That's what makes it so rewarding at the end. Deep breaths, keep opening those hips. And if you think you don't like me now, wait until I tell you that our next pose is full frog. So if this feels good to you and you know that it's in your practice, you can come into full frog, taking both legs out. Really working on those hips. This is great if we're trying to do middle splits or just working on our inner hip flexibility in general. You can always come down onto the elbows, depending on where you're at, wherever you want to hang. Find your little comfy spot for this practice and then surrender wherever that is. Honor it. Consciously releasing any tension in the toes, the ankles, the hips. Finding a little sweet release there. Just letting them open. Taking nice deep belly breaths. Noticing what comes to mind. Noticing its value. And if you need it, if you value it, you keep it. And if you don't, you let it go. Because some things just aren't worth our time, our energy. And that's okay, we can make room for things that are. Whenever we're done with that pose, which is probably right now, probably screaming at me, we can gently come up onto the knees. And we're going to turn to face the long ways of the mat, opening the legs wide for straddle pose. So we don't need to go as wide as we could go or we feel we should go. We can keep them in closer. This is not a competition. Just finding what feels good here. Flexing the toes up, knees are sent backwards, externally rotating the legs. And then we just slowly fold forward. If this is where we stop, this is where we stay. After a few breaths, you might notice yourself going down a little bit more, maybe with each exhale. We release a little bit more, and a little bit more. That's all it is. It's usually not all at once. It's usually bit by bit, little bit by little bit. Each breath, each step makes a difference. It all matters. Shining the heart forward, whatever variation we're in of this pose. Really opening the hips now. Might be talking to you. One more big breath. And we're going to lift the chest up. Gently take that left foot into the right thigh and reach the arm over, opening up the chest, just finding a beautiful side body stretch. Sending those fingers as far as we can, maybe trying to reach the foot. Playing with any motion here that feels good. As we sit in this stretch for a few breaths. Opening up. And exhale to gently release and come up, switching sides. Reaching the right arm over, maybe making it slow and graceful. Just enjoying being here. Taking these precious moments for yourself that are almost over. One more nice deep breath. And then on the exhale, we can gently raise up, taking the knees or the soles of the feet in front, hands behind us. And we windshield wiper the legs, just letting the knees gently fall from side to side. Just a few. Gently loosening them up. And then coming back to sit, crossing at the ankles. We're going to sit up in easy seat here, nice and tall. And then gently walk the fingertips forward. Keeping a flat back. Right here, maybe coming onto the forearms, gazing forward. Just taking a moment to feel really grounded, close to the mat, close to your practice, your safe space, your inner home. Taking one breath here. And then reaching gently back up, extending the legs. You can keep the soles on the mat. We're going to keep the knees very bent and just let yourself fall over your legs. You can round through the back a little bit. You can either let the head hang in between the knees, maybe we find a little resting place, maybe we give ourselves a little hug. Whatever it is you need to end this practice on a good note for yourself. Just knowing that you can always return to the breath in times of stress or uncertainty, and know that you are always home. Peace comes from within you, not your external circumstances. You can always return to our practice. Taking a few more gentle moments for yourself. And whenever we're ready, we can gently roll up and find a sitting position. I hope we were able to kind of calm some nerves if they were a little frayed, de-stress a little bit, feel more grounded, more centered, more realigned. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for practicing with me. I will see you again on the mat very soon. Namaste, friends. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know your experience down below. If you feel more calm, more rejuvenated afterwards, I would love to hear it. And subscribe to never miss more daily free yoga classes. I'll see you later.